at Radio Free America. This is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I've got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone.
3, 6, 4, 6.
The chair is against the wall.
3, 6.
The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache.
8, 2, 5.
John has a long mustache.
8, 2, 5, 0, 9.
It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
2, 1.
Well, it seems like we forgot to change our intro again, but that being said, it's nice to hear that. It's been a while since we've had the break from YouTube for a Domestic Friday segment. I think it's just because we don't give a fuck anymore about like what we say for the most part on YouTube. If they don't like it, then they'll tell us, I guess.
Yeah, our policy towards YouTube changed a while ago, and we didn't say anything. It essentially was, fine, kick us off then.
I mean, it's kind of. Here's one, like somebody recent. Okay, so I don't know if you guys, any of you are Comicsgate fans from back in the day, but Cecil, one of the guys from the Jack Show, had his channel just nuked from orbit, and people who saved episodes of the and republished the Jack Show episodes, even their playlists got nuked. So I guess they found something from 3 years ago, and
no, it was they incorrectly tied him to a channel from somebody that's underage that has nothing to do with him, but their system believes it's him.
Anyway, so Cecil's channel got nuked, and he recently started started up on Rumble. So by the way, if you're a fan of Cecil, check him out on Rumble. So it's just one of those kind of things. If they want to nuke us on YouTube, they'll nuke us on YouTube. I would prefer they didn't, because when all things being equal, naturally YouTube gets more natural traffic, right? Like right now, we're looking at 28 on YouTube, like a couple minutes in, and 20 on Rumble. We've gotten good numbers. Here's the thing. Here's the funny thing, guys. We regularly get 1,500 viewers per episode on Rumble, whereas we barely scratch 500 to 600 per episode on YouTube. So we're definitely suppressed on YouTube. I mean, we used to get like over 1,000 every episode, but maybe people are just bored with us, guys. Who knows? I don't know. Don't care. I don't do this for the views. I do it because I want to talk to my buds. Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome. We're talking Ice Goes Cold and Iran is Big Mad on episode 616. Hey, 616. That's the... if anybody in the chat can tell me the significance, the nerd significance of the number 616, I'll give you a couple of minutes. Joe, how you doing today, brother?
It's the area code for Grand Rapids, Michigan.
I mean, if you think that's nerdy,
I'm doing well and good. It's been a good week. We wrapped up the Fieldcraft class, and starting today, we've got people arriving for Kay's ground rod course. Starts tomorrow, and there are, of course, still seats available in that class. There are seats available in the Gunfighter Concepts class. It goes on over the weekend. NC Scout and I are currently negotiating out dates for him to show up, and we're going to have lots more going on at Camp Ponderosa this summer. So try to make your way out here, and it's a good time.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, that's I want ground rod's one of the ones that I'd be really interested to go to.
Yeah, it's a really great course. You learn a lot about securing your phone and removing trackers and doing all that good stuff. So I would definitely get out and take it. And what was I going to say? I had one more thing to add. Oh, And there's not even going to be any snow on the ground by the time Saturday rolls around. So it's a good time to travel to Montana.
This is as much as it's nice to have a warm winter, I will say people need to be prepared because we live in an area where if it doesn't get snow, that means next year we don't have water.
Right. Well, I mean, we'll see. Well, it's pretty dry here this winter too. Not a lot of snow. All right, somebody in the chat got it finally. Hazmat 616 is the mainstream Marvel universe for all the comic books, right? Like, so if you grew up reading like X-Men and things like that back in the day, that was Earth 616. Though the Baron Felt Quadrants 661, that's a pretty deep cut. I was not aware that was the squadron name, though I do remember those Baron Feld novels. I always thought that was a cool. Joe, that's one of those cool ideas that, like, I think that like legitimate like military people can actually enjoy in Star Wars. So like Baron Fell was this TIE fighter ace pilot, but then after like the second Death Star gets destroyed and everything, he becomes, it's like he gets integrated into the Rebel Alliance like fighter corps, and so there's this tension between these TIE fighter aces from the former Imperial and the like Wedge Antilles and all those guys from the Rogue Squadron. So I don't remember those books like super well as far as the storyline goes. I
will bring up a different blast from the past, which is, who would have guessed that every summer, my entire childhood from the age of 8 onward, I was practicing to be an ICE agent out in the bush with my buddies.
With your paintball gun? Yeah, right.
I mean, that is legit the Tipman I used to have.
Right.
Like, not even...
right. I'm a fully qualified paintball sprayer,
Right.
Oh, but what I hated the guys who would insist that, they're called markers. They're not guns, they're markers. Oh, fuck you. I hope you got bullied as a kid for being a nerd, Scott. Actually, I was the biggest kid in class, so
he was the dispenser of bullying.
I could do whatever I want. Here's the funny thing: like, nobody gave a shit about nerdy stuff. It's like we talk about it at school and things like this up until like 5th grade, right? At 6th grade, when I moved to Louisville, Kentucky from Tennessee, I noticed that nobody talked about anything like that. So when I went to Louisville from 6th grade on, I was like totally undercover with my nerd stuff, so I could meet girls.
It's a blast from the past.
I don't get the significance of that. What's that?
The Empire loaders. Those are do you remember the fast paintball reloads that you could do?
Oh,
like
those tubes that people would wear, like, and you
yes. Oh man. Or no, the Empire loaders. That's got to be those very first auto loading containers, rather than this, which is literally just like a piece of plastic, right? So they're gravity fed. I'm pretty sure the Empires were the first ones that had the little auger in it that fed the balls down in.
Yeah, I don't know. That paintball is like one of those things that it seemed like I would have gotten into, but for whatever reason, I just never did. I mean, I played it several times, but I never got into it.
Oh man, I lived in the perfect place for it. We had bush wars just constantly.
Well, the closest thing we did as a kid is shooting dog training rounds out of shotguns at each other.
I still have it here somewhere. No, I guess it's back in Michigan, but I have a U.S. Army branded Tipman M16 style paintball gun.
Nice.
It's got a fake magazine that has all the tools in it and everything. But the good thing is it's just for shooting pepper rounds at people, and it's fun.
Kick-ass. Oh, and I know. Oh, that's right. I was there when you got that. That was good looking. I also liked the shotgun, although less practical.
All right. Let's anything else that we should get off our chest, gentlemen? I think that's a good amount of banter before the beginning of the substantive Porter Pro show. Anything else?
I mean,
Anything else I missed?
point out that I put out an epic rhyme for the show.
Oh, let's give it a read. I have let me open X back up. Here we go. Mr. Dolio. If I can ever get it to open back up again. I tell you what, sometimes it does not want to open up very quickly on the old X. All right. Leftists are getting bold while ice is getting cold. If you want to know the plan, come and learn what's up with Iran. Very good, Joe. That's like multi-part. I like that one.
I know.
Usually that's almost like double what you normally put.
I know. I've been thinking about it while you were working on the thumbnail.
All right. All right, guys.
Should we die defending Elon Musk's AI generated smut? Did we somehow imply that we should?
Yeah, I didn't see that one. I didn't see that one in the notes, guys. All right.
It's just weird.
All right. Let me get the first one up here. U.S. vows to unleash full arsenal of tools against UK Prime Minister Starmer's war on free speech. That's what he must be talking about. Like, we fight to save X. Let's be honest. X is not about like one man. This is literally the only social media company out there that literally stands up for any level of freedom of speech. Now, they moderate speech and things like that. But it's it's
also,
a sticky wicket
do not give in to the British framing of this, that this is about bikinis. That you mean
100%.
The thing that literally every single AI will do, but they're only zeroing in on X because X happens to be the platform where their people can share free information and it embarrasses them on a daily basis. Don't give in to that fucking framing.
As Keir Starmer's labor regime tightens the noose on online freedom, the United States has issued a blistering warning. Nothing is off the table to defend free speech in Britain. With government-appointed regulator Ofcom now formally investigating Elon Musk's X over Grok-generated images, American outlets are rallying against what they call authoritarian tactics straight out of Tyrant's playbook. Sarah B. Rogers, U.S. Undersecretary of State for Public Diplomacy, has assured the British people that the Trump administration will counter any assault on X with the same tools used to pierce internet blackouts in oppressive states. The clash exposes Labor's selective outrage, obsessing with AI bikinis while turning a blind eye to genuine dangers like grooming gangs. Yeah, good point there. I asked.
That's fair, Joe. Fair.
Hold on a second. I want to read that one too. I asked Groktabook Joe to brush over bikini and said he was afraid of being bayoneted and refused. As well, it should. He, Joe has threatened to bayonet people for less.
Joe has,
and of course,
people for less.
And then, of course, we've got Keir Starmer putting a bikini here.
They blurred the bikini,
I'm glad they blurred it out because nobody needs to see that.
To be honest, though, the bikini thing has less to do with X and more to do with the fact that people are just dumb.
Yep.
Besides, the best use of put it in a bikini that I've seen so far all have to do with inanimate objects.
The escalation builds on threats of Starmer's government floating a total ban on X over Grok's image generation capabilities. Under the tyrannical Online Safety Act, critics have slammed the move as a thinly veiled bid to silence dissent on one platform where global narratives get shredded daily. Let's see. Let's listen to like the first half of this video. I don't want to listen to the whole thing.
Okay, so how long will you give X to make sure that you can't make controversial or obscene images behind a paywall? How long is the government going to give X to stop that?
Well, I expect Ofcom to take its next steps in days, not weeks. The government is crystal clear.
Oh
We
my
want
God.
those images
Push
taken
pause real
down.
quick.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
What is wrong with her teeth?
She has British.
She's British.
That's
I know, but they seem like they're like
It does look
2
like
inches
somewhere in
long.
her history, someone mated with a horse. It does look that.
Well, at least our schools don't have a shooting gallery.
All right, push play.
They are despicable, they are abhorrent, and we will ensure that the full force of the powers of the law that we have given Ofcom, we want to see those used.
Are there any steps that could be? Well, outline some of those steps. What can Ofcom do? Just explain to people what are the measures and powers available to Ofcom that would bring this to an end.
They can investigate the service, they can issue enforcement action, and if that enforcement action is not complied with, they can fine the platform £18 million or 10% of their worldwide revenue, whichever is greater. But there are also powers in the Online Safety Act which enable Ofcom to block those services being made available to people in the UK. And as I said, we would want...
You know what? I am utterly done with these people. We need to do exactly what Trump is doing. Crush these communists at every available opportunity and on every point. Don't give them a fucking inch.
You know, I was thinking not too long ago. You know, Joe, we've never been a big fan of the American empire because America has not been a very good empire. Like, we kind of suck at it, if you will. You know, we're best when we just kind of like trade with people bilaterally, right? But this whole globalism was an attempt at a type of empire building with America at the head, and then but the more I see Europe and the way Europe's going, the more I'm like, maybe we should just.
Who needs anything outside the Western Hemisphere, really?
Well, I think you're right, but Britain, I feel like there is a need to cleanse Britain of its.
What's the best export that Britain has that we want?
Women.
No, Scotch.
What?
Maybe Scotch. Other than that,
well, that's actually a fair point. Women as close second, maybe.
No, British women have teeth like that.
Nope. I was going to say.
No,
I think
Scott, listen. Do you know why Britain had the greatest navy the world has ever seen and produced such a high proportion of sailors?
Because the men were getting away from their women.
Because of British women and British cooking.
But watch her, that's women everywhere.
Yeah, I went to this this excellent British restaurant. Said nobody ever.
That's true.
I pointed this out over the weekend during the class. I'm like, there's a lot of countries that are proud of their cuisine. You don't hear British people going, man, you should come and have beef at my house. We have great beef in England. No, they don't.
I asked, we were talking at work about like best world cuisines, because my work, everybody's been all over the world and everything. And so we kind of came up with this list, and I don't remember all of them, but I think the top 3 that we came up with, not necessarily in this order, was Italian, Japanese, and Korean food. And I think, what did we have I can't remember, maybe Chinese food in there, but it's American Chinese. Nobody likes real Chinese food. You know
what's funny, and this is telling, if you would have asked me when I was younger what Britain's greatest export was, I would have said comedians. I would have said comedy. But unfortunately, they made that illegal about 20 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, Ricky Gervais somehow has
liberal talking points and making fun of conservatives, and that's it. Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you on the food issue, but that's okay. It's okay for you to not have any good flavor in your life.
Well, I mean,
I agree. If the options
if
the options are inviting in foreign rapists and pulling a legitimate Piers Morgan, but have you seen? But look at all the curry we can have now. Then yeah, I'll take flavorless food forever.
Anyway, Monty Python was very good. Yes, it was very good.
Yes, but unfortunately, the sole remaining member is so degraded by his Trump derangement syndrome, he would legitimately have been a more whole person had he contracted Alzheimer's.
Are you talking about John Cleese?
I am. He is unbelievably fucking disgusting now. Like literally every opportunity to try and twist any possible thing he can, he tosses it up. The most disrespectful things to our soldiers you can imagine, puts it up. The most it is legitimately just a cavalcade of the worst takes you could possibly have.
Watcher, I feel like you're holding back. Just tell us how you feel.
See, I've seen him have some incredibly good takes lately, and maybe I'm just not seeing much of his stuff, and I'm only seeing stuff that people I like retweet. But it just kind of, well, at least he's a pro Iranian protester. That's good. All right, moving on. So back to this horse face and her, her.
Are we going to watch?
While anything takes years to progress through the government in the UK, within days of sounding the intention to crack down, they made it illegal to create what they claim to be sexualized AI images. Not sure how a bikini is a sexualized AI image.
There they are, the liberal woman glasses every time.
Oh God, don't get me fucking started on the phenotype. I think phenotypes are a thing.
Is she gonna do bird hands? Chat, lay your bets now. Bird hands. One is yes, two is no.
Look at how serious
Let me be crystal clear.
What's that, Joe?
Under the online
He said, go ahead,
He's
Joe.
got his angry face on. Look at it. Yeah, this is very important.
I
Very
am
important.
serious.
Safety Act, sharing intimate images without someone's consent or threatening to share them, including images of people in their underwear, is a criminal offence for individuals and for platforms. My predecessor, the Right Honourable Member for Hove and Portslade, rightly made this a priority offence, so services have to take proactive action to stop this content from appearing in the first place. The Data Act, passed last year, made it a criminal offence to create or request the creation of non-consensual intimate images. And today, I can announce to the House that this offence will be brought into force this week. And that I will...
Hold on, pause.
Says 15 people.
Meanwhile, Ajit's like, does that mean I can't ask people to send Bob's and Vagine anymore?
You know what? I need to record this sound somehow and put it into a soundboard for unenthusiastic titwank.
That is terrible. I just think that they're big mad because the AI images actually make British females look like an Oklahoma 5.
Make it a priority offence in the Online Safety Act too. This means individuals are committing a criminal offence if they create or seek to create such content, including on X. And anyone who does this should expect to face the full extent of the law.
They are claiming the bikini memes are intimate images. Yes.
Part of me wants to go to the Ofcom X, page and basically, like, it won't let anybody
go to a her in a bikini, but then you have to you can never unsee it.
Yeah, I was gonna say the punishment for making Grok put her in a bikini is having to see her in a bikini.
Well, they won't let anybody reply to their things. It looks like, oh no, you can reply to this one.
You can also retweet them. That's always possible.
Yeah.
They can't hide
right. The quote tweet them. Yeah. Anyway, so that's a thing. Of course, I want to kind of get to where we have. Let's see. In a GB News interview, let's see, Rogers. I can't. What's her name? Sarah B. Rogers, Undersecretary of State for the U.S. It sounds like. Undersecretary Rogers dismissed Labor's actions as politically driven, emphasized America's commitment to free expression, and Britain's slide towards censorship. She stated the government's ban threats were politically motivated, and given the pro-censorship inclinations of the British state in recent memory, I can't say that we'll be shocked if they follow through with it. We can play her little
Trying to
video
conflate
here.
speech and violence is something that advocates of censorship have done for a long time. If the UK bans X, it won't be the first country to do so. Russia bans X, Venezuela bans X, Iran bans X. Free societies generally don't. Now, notice the sleight of hand that Liz Kendall is doing there, because the topic of the day is a potential ban of X, and she speaks more narrowly about non-consensual intimate images being illegal. Guess what, Bev? There are already laws against revenge porn, and there are already laws against defamation. So if you were to depict someone credibly in a way that could be mistaken for a real image of that person, depicting that person in some kind of sexual degrading scenario that she'd never undertaken herself, you could already be sued under existing legal devices. And creating a new legal device isn't out of the question. Our First Lady, Melania Trump, has championed a statute called the Take It Down Act, which would give the victim of that image a notice and takedown remedy, similar to what we have for copyright. I think cautious regulation is the best approach here. But when you're at a new technological frontier, sometimes there's a temptation to just enact a flurry of new technological regulations designed to put that technological innovation back in the bottle. We saw this with the invention of the telegraph. We saw this with the invention of the film strip. And when you look back at history at each of those moments, which you discover, and which you wish your forebears would have known, is that sometimes people just need to get used to the real technology. They need to get used to these images not being real. And I smiled before because I think you and I are both female public figures and have both had images of us created. And I can see why people would find those images uncomfortable. But I'm willing to be a bit uncomfortable if that's what it takes to be free. And that's the promise of a free society.
Wow, shocking! I mean, just the difference you get from somebody from the U.S. versus somebody from
Americans prefer freedom to safety. News at 11.
I know, right? All right, I'm actually working on something here. Let me see if I could get this put. I mean, I don't know. I'm not too worried. Yeah. She's got another video, right?
Yep.
Yeah, let's play the next one.
Okay.
Actually, she looks like she's got 3 or 4.
Yeah.
If Ofcom do decide that X should be banned in the UK, what will President Trump say or do about that?
America, Bev, has a full range of tools that we can use to facilitate uncensored internet access in authoritarian, closed societies where the government bans it. We are facilitating uncensored internet in Iran right now. We've done that in the past elsewhere. And with respect to a potential ban of X, Keir Starmer has said that nothing is off the table. And I would say from America's perspective that likewise, nothing is off the table when it comes to free speech. So let's wait and see what Ofcom does, and we'll see what America does in response. But I had an apparatus at the State Department called the Office of Digital Freedom. And this is an issue dear to us, and I think we would certainly want to respond.
If Ofcom do decide...
Did they decide to put people together on purpose, or...
Yeah, it must be some lady coordination, group chat that we miss out on. I can't decide which one looks better. Let's see. This one or this one?
That one. I prefer that one.
Right.
Her mouth is not exposed.
Well, the other one, at least you can identify her, so you know who is saying negative things about you.
That's okay, because if you know her in real life, you can identify her by smell instead.
Ooh, that's a sick burn, Joe. All right. I think let's see. I think there was a little more to that one, and then we'll close it out.
Seriously, guys, I'm going to bomb the UK over this. Knock it off. It's not going to happen.
It would be okay if we did, though. I'd be fine with that.
No, I wouldn't. I'm not fine with killing people for. I mean, seriously.
Preserving my rights? No, I'm all right with that.
But you don't have rights in the United Kingdom. You're not British. It's okay.
Right, but they're trying to change ours here.
Derna says, that's lewd, Scott. She's just showing her eyeballs like a big whore. That's right. Let's see. Praising President Trump in advance as huge champions of free speech, Rogers recalled Trump's own ban from pre-Musk Twitter. Our leadership understands that this is because President Trump himself was the target of censorship. President Trump was banned by Twitter, the old regime before Elon bought it. And then she says, you have to take that comparison seriously. That's why our president cares about this issue, because people couldn't deal with his popularity. They couldn't deal with his success, and they tried to shut him down so no one could hear him. Let's see.
Rather than everyone saying, let's bomb them, how about if we arm them and let them fight for their own freedom?
That's what I'm here for.
I mean,
that's what I like.
Pretty much the same thing. The them I'm talking about is their government.
One is us forcing our will on them. The other is saying, hey, if you really want to be free, do it yourself, and we'll enable you. I think it's a much bigger thing. Much better.
God helps those who help themselves. Hey, go to the final video at the bottom. This is GB News talking about why it might not be a good idea to go after Elon Musk like this.
Do you think that this will end well? It seemed extraordinary. The Labour Party is going for the throat of Elon Musk.
Well, there was an old phrase on Fleet Street, Martin, which is don't pick a fight with someone who buys ink by the barrel. And that was always a good rule of thumb for politicians, particularly prime ministers. Don't pick a fight with a newspaper proprietor because they buy ink by the barrel. And Elon Musk is the digital equivalent of someone who buys ink by the barrel. And when the government had picked fights with him before, it hasn't ended well. But trying to unpick this Kendall statement.
The equivalent of someone who buys ink by the barrel? What?
Oh yeah, no, that is something I've heard. Like,
that's an old phrase.
Don't start a lawsuit against lawyers who buy ink by the barrel.
Yeah. It's still dumb.
No, it's essentially a phrase about logistics.
Okay. In the House of Commons this afternoon, it isn't completely clear to me that she is actually picking a fight with Elon Musk, because what she said is that the government is going to accelerate the commencement of a law which got royal assent last year, which will make it a criminal offence to create or share an intimate image of a woman. It's already a criminal offence to create and share an intimate image of a child. They want to accelerate this law, making it a criminal offence to create or share, to request the creation of or share an intimate image of a woman, as defined under Section 66 of the Sexual Offences Act. That doesn't include, interestingly, that doesn't include creating or sharing an image of a woman in a bikini, unless the bikini is wet or see-through. But it would include creating and sharing a new.
He had that one at his fingertips. Like he knows.
Oh my God, they're oddly specific and stupid. It's got to be wet for more than 47%, 0.9. And why is it only women? Well, why then can you share non-consensual sexual images of men?
Oh, we know the answer to that.
Wet. All right.
Because it's women driving the law and they don't care about it the other way.
Well, it's haram, gentlemen. That's all we can say, especially because it's in England, because London is now an Islamic city. It is haram. All right.
How long is it going to be before we have to go, hey, UK, I don't know if we're really comfortable with a caliphate having nuclear weapons.
Yeah, right. That's exactly right. That's more true than you might think. Whoa, hey, good buddy Mexican Iron Man has decided to drop some knowledge on us for $10. Point of clarification: the ink by the barrel phrase was originally derived from the Mexican phrase "Do not f around with a Mexican with a Mexican that buys jalapenos by the barrel." Jalapenos equal chemical weapons. All right. This next story is, Joe, par for the fucking course. Who would have guessed that the Secret Service has placed woke agents right next to the president and vice president? This is from James O'Keefe. Breaking U.S. Secret Service agent assigned to Vice President J.D. Vance leaked sensitive security information to undercover reporter. Escoto is a holdover from the Biden administration and stated that he voted for Joe Biden while expressing opposition to ICE and the Trump administration's immigration policies. He goes, "I hate that ICE shit." Tom Esposito is a current Secret Service agent on Vice President J.D. Vance's protection detail, was recorded on hidden camera, providing an undercover journalist with sensitive security information, including protective formations, shift schedules, travel plans, and real-time locations. The Secret Service agent detailed how the vice president is physically surrounded, described multiple daily shift changes, and disclosed advanced security procedures. In addition to past movements, the agent revealed future travel plans, sometimes days in advance. Escoto was sent images from Air Force Two while on board with the president or vice president. He acknowledged that he signed paperwork prohibiting the disclosure of sensitive information. The Secret Service agent repeatedly shared details with someone he believed was a casual romantic interest. While the safety of the vice president and his family was always our top priority, what OMG uncovered raises serious questions about the operational security, protocol, compliance, and oversight within the U.S. Secret Service. Our team coordinated with the U.S. Secret Service ahead of the publication, redacted sensitive operational details per their request, and we were just informed that Escudillo has been placed on administrative leave with his clearance suspended and access to agency facilities and systems revoked. Let's watch. Usually on these videos, this is like a long video, but usually like the first couple minutes gives you a good overview. So let's play like the first 2 minutes.
Hold on, though,
Joe,
before we do one thing. Once again, O'Keefe Media plays the gay card and catches someone.
Oh,
there's something to that. I mean, all of these.
This one's wait. Am I wrong? The voice is definitely a woman.
Well, let's see. I don't know. I actually haven't listened to it. I just read the story.
So, yeah, no. The reporter in this one is a woman. And then the other thing I wanted to mention.
Look at that guy. I doubt.
Joe, I thought the exact same thing. I was like, well, once again, I got another gay undercover reporter. You know.
So here's the other thing I wanted to mention. Have they mentioned that he's only been in the country for 5 years?
Yeah. 5 years ago, he came into the country. Yeah.
Can I see your badge again with your photo? You're so cute.
A current Secret Service agent on Vice President J.D. Vance's security detail.
When he's like walking, like, where are you?
We'll have a lease on head and
gives away vital high-level security information to our undercover journalists.
We have different shifts. We have
tells her about detailed future travel plans for the vice president, and even sends her pictures with location metadata revealing where the president's convoy was located, potentially violating both the Secret Service NDA and United States federal law. Tomas is fully aware of this. Quote, "I signed paperwork, so if I don't have to get out information, I never do, otherwise I get in trouble." You really have to stand in awe of the lack of self-awareness.
They know secret about what we do.
Tomas Escoto also reveals that he voted for Biden and that he hates Trump and Vance's immigration policies.
Did you vote for Biden?
Yes, I did actually.
What do you think about like all the ICE stuff going on?
I hate that shit.
Yeah.
They're employing taxes that shouldn't be employed.
You may have seen reports last week that someone attempted to break into Vice President J.D. Vance's home in Ohio. That incident prompted us to take a closer look at what we found. in our investigation was an agent inside the vice president's detail who is actually revealing to a total stranger that the vice president will be visiting his home in Ohio days ahead of time. And while what you're about to see is an important story, the security of the vice president and his family is our top priority. Now, under normal circumstances, our editorial policy is to request comment a day or two before a report airs. But in this case, we contacted the Secret Service a full week in advance of this report to ensure that nothing we report here would compromise the vice president's safety in any way. But even with those precautions, what we uncovered is troubling, and we felt this is important for you all to see. We hope that bringing this to light strengthens security and helps prevent future vulnerabilities in our government.
I would bet that he's probably not actually an agent on the detail, but he's likely a member of the uniform division who has been assigned to some task very tangentially. So he doesn't strike me as the same quality as the protective detail agents I've met.
He's a little on the soft side, Joe. Let's be honest. I mean, I'll be honest. I've met a couple Secret Service people, but I met one that was on a protective detail, and that guy was fucking hard as woodpecker lips. So anyway, once again, you can't say this is this is just that infiltration that has gone on at every level. All right, let's move on. Little Greenland kind of info here. I thought this was interesting. This is one of Denmark's actual analysis of the situation in and around Greenland as it pertains to the security situation and who is paying attention to the Arctic. So basically, this is page 36 from their Intelligent Outlook 2025. Says China is preparing for a military presence in the Arctic. Chinese icebreakers and research vessels operate in the Arctic and have conducted joint patrol exercise with Russia in the region. China aims to develop the capacity for independent military operations in the Arctic. Chinese activities are primarily concentrated in the waters north of the Bering Strait, extending towards the North Pole. Now, if anybody who is a fan of the Cold War knows that the Arctic operations were always like a thing. I mean, Joe, it goes back to, for me, it goes back to Ice Station Zebra, I thought that was an amazing movie when I was 7 years old or whatever when I saw it. This is another of this is kind of what was it? The whole climate change thing really, everybody thought that was going to open up the Northern Passage, right? For part of the year for commercial traffic and things like that. Now that has not proven to be the case, but it's still key strategic ground for anybody who is interested in projecting power.
I'm pretty sure we reported on this when that report first came out.
Yeah, we might have. I honestly don't recall. We cover so much, but I thought that this was kind of worth kind of going over with the fact that even Greenland recognized, or even Iceland, even Denmark recognizes the strategic importance.
I also know that I remember 2 years ago, we broke the story of Canadian forces training active Chinese troops in Arctic
in
warfare.
Canada. Yep,
Canada.
100%. Let's see. They talk about patrol flights, Coast Guard, research vessels, and then of course you've got that kind of route north of Russia, so it kind of skirts the Asia side of the Arctic. And then of course you can really see the Greenland, Iceland, UK gap very well here, with Iceland being another critical piece of that. And guess who's in charge of all the security of Iceland? That would be the U.S. They essentially don't have a military, and we have agreed to basically cover their defense commitments gratis.
Can I address something in the chat, in both chats? There's comments about the detail they gave Donald Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. I will remind you all that at the time, Donald J. Trump was not the president of the United States. Yeah. He did not have an actual full Secret Service detail. He had half Secret Service, half Homeland Security investigations. That's where the knuckleheads came in, Homeland Security investigations. So,
the Danish Defense Intelligence Service has in other places in this Defense Outlook, they talk about, it says, in recent years, the U.S. has significantly increased its security policy focus in the Arctic. While Russia continues its military buildup, China continues to develop its capacity to operate both submarines and surface vessels in the region. Russia remains the strongest military power in the Arctic, but sees itself being challenged by the West. As a result, Russia will increasingly assert its interests through more confrontational approach, both politically and militarily. Most of Russia's nuclear-armed submarines are stationed in the Arctic. They form a key component of Russia's plan to deter the United States from attacking, providing Russia with the capacity to launch or capability to launch potential retaliatory nuclear strikes. So, I mean, this is a kind of a, once again, it's a critical area. Everybody knows it, but they're trying, now you've got countries in Europe and specifically the kind of Scandinavian bloc saying, oh, this is a terrible idea. What are you thinking? You can't do this. This is not that important anyway. And I guess it was just released here in the last little bit that that one of the key things that they want this for is the Golden Dome anti-ballistic missile defense system that Trump keeps talking about. Breaking. Trump says the U.S. needs Greenland for the Golden Dome missile shield. It says NATO becomes far more formidable and effective with Greenland in the hands of the U.S. Anything less is unacceptable. So I have no idea what's going on with this. I honestly don't give two shits about Greenland. I think it's strategic, but I already think we have access to it, so I don't know the point of why we need to take it. But Lord knows we're in for may you live in interesting times. This is definitely an example of that. All right, guys. There's one more watcher. There's a second link there on number 3. No, that's number 4. Go back to number 3. It says starts with suddenly. Yeah, that's the one. Check that. You guys will appreciate this. Europe is a diverse place with lots of new immigrants and things like this. But when it comes to fighting the wars, suddenly Europe is all white guys. If you know, you know.
Why would I be wearing 2 different patches on the same arm?
This is some dummy has made this just to kind of show the representation of all these flags.
First of all, I've never seen European men who actually look like that. So
I'm sure there's some, Swedish guys and, things like that are gruff looking and, know what they're doing. Maybe some German KSK, guys.
Not enough cat ears, and they're standing in far too manly a position. They need to be doing some kind of
we did show these exact same guys doing that dance here recently. So
right.
They're tough on the weekend, but they know how to have fun on the weekends. That's what it is. And this next one, of course, is near and dear to my heart, having spent several months in Turkey. Turkey. So this doesn't surprise me in the fucking slightest. This also seems to me like an AI image, but I think it's real.
The last time Turkey tried this, it didn't historically go very well.
Well, I don't know about that, Watcher. I mean, they took about half of the Kurdish controlled area away from the SDF.
Oh, see, you're talking a little more recently than I am.
You said the last time, so.
Well, I wasn't aware that they did that much over there, to be honest. I had honestly thought that the last time Turkey had done something as an actual army was,
No, we talked about it on the show. I mean, like the whole kind of Turkish invasion of northern Syria, and
Turkey's been operating in Libya for a very long time.
Yeah, they've occupied Idlib and several of these, and then there's a portion of the northern part of like the coastal region that they occupy still. Turkish Ministry of National Defense says if Syria requests assistance, Turkey will be ready to provide necessary support, commenting that the operation launched by the Syrian army in Aleppo. So what they're really looking forward to doing is they're chomping at the bit to get an opportunity to kill Kurdish civilians. Because let's be honest, they can't suffer the Kurds to have any independence or live.
I have an unfortunate update on an earlier story. The UK has started banning any advocates of not banning X from their country as of this morning.
You cannot travel to the UK. Okay. And nothing was lost for her.
Have she tried a small rubber boat?
Evidently, they would find her an interceptor if that were the case.
I bet if she threw a couple of Ibns in her last name, they would let her in. So.
Yep. Also, I legitimately don't believe they have the ability to track those boats. I don't. Like, I think I think if they tried to start, they would find pretty quickly that, oh no, this is actually a much harder task than we assumed.
All right. Let me go on to the next one here. Joe, you want to talk a little bit about tactical-wisdom.com?
Sure. I just put out an article this morning about brush beater optics. All of the ones that I have tried and used that are outstanding, like the mini dot optic, great one. That's the first one I had. It's just as basic optic, and then from there you move on to the pistol dot optic that I helped design. It's a great optic, really, really good. And then a couple of the LVPOs that I've used. Just good reviews on them and links to where you can find them. Great stuff. We like to do gear reviews. We've gotten a couple out. We did this one, and then over on Locals, we did the review of the of this fine armor plate from Hoplite that we have turned into laser eyes. So pretty darn good stuff. That's 2 rounds of 7.62 by 39 right to the eyeballs. That will ruin your day. It will give you what's called instant flaccid paralysis. Yes, Jim, I use the word flaccid, but you're not allowed to. It's pretty good. We do lots of reviews in there. We've got classes coming up this week, and I'm working on a schedule for the rest of the year. So keep your eyes on tactical-wisdom.com. And while you're at it, if you really like the things that I put out, check out tacticalwisdom.locals.com. We put out more exclusive content, training, and reviews. We have some pretty cool book studies going on over there too. So check it out.
Before we move on, Phil Coggins, member for 40 months. Thank you very much for that 40 months of membership. He says the best British sea shanty is lamenting the fact that they have to return to British ladies and their cooking. Well, the cooking is definitely for sure off the list as far as, I was reminded by the chat that Mexican food is pretty damn good. Yes, but I'm telling you, chat, if you haven't had Korean food, you are truly missing out on one of life's great pleasures. Unlike most countries, they actually get barbecue right. South Africa is another country that gets barbecue right. All right. See, I just want to make sure I don't have any over here on here. Yeah, we do have one. PSA's helicopter tours for $1. Trump should be dropping JDAMs on the inbreeding Brits and and go for the hat trick. Now let's. How about we drop care packages like loot drops into the hoods of Britain. That way, the criminals will actually use the weapons, probably on the police because they don't have guns. All right. And EDW Raptor is a new member. Thank you, brother. Appreciate your patronage. Speaking of memberships, Low Key LARP has just gifted 5 subs to Future Conflict over on Rumble. If you are not a member on Rumble, get over there and maybe you can scoop one of these up. Low key LARP. Thanks, brother. All right. Brush Beater Store. Let's see. Tonight, we're on the edge of imminent action in Iran, regime pressure, potential strikes, and the powder keg ready to blow. The continuing ICE operations in Minneapolis cracking down on immigration enforcement and rising domestic flashpoints. From the Persian powder kegs to the Heartland raids, the lines are drawn. Enter our sponsor, Brush Beater Store, led by NC Scout, with Kyber optics to give you unbreakable vision in the gathering storm. When Iran teeters on the brink or ICE moves to the streets, Kyber optics from Brush Beater keeps you locked in. The Kyber optic Jambia 3x30 compact prism scope delivers 3x magnification in a rugged, lightweight package with an etched reticle illumination, perfect for fast target acquisition and low light urban operations. Medium range engagements for quick transitions and close quarters work. The Kyber Optics MDO brings a sealed close emitter red dot with shake awake technology and 5,000 hour battery life, fast, forgiving, and built to survive the chaos. And when you need versatility across varying distance, Kyber Optics 1x6 power LPVO offers seamless variable magnification with battle-proven etched reticle and bomb-proof construction ready for any scenario. And once you've got your optics dialed in, level up your game with the Fighting Carbine North Carolina course at Brush Beater's Yanceyville, North Carolina facility. This intensive training focuses on real-world carbine handling, rapid target transitions, low-light tactics, and stress-induced decision-making, exactly the skills you need when the action is imminent. Get hands-on and gear up at Brush Beater's Yanceyville, North Carolina showroom, or shop brushbeater.store/collection/optics or products/Fighting Carbine North Carolina. Use code CFC10 for 5% off all Kyber Optics training, radios, gear. Anything over $100 ships for free. Thanks to Matt for supporting the Council on Future Conflict. Visit brushbeater.store, enter code CFC10, and stay sighted on imminent action. Now back to the show. All right, gents.
You know, a couple of folks, there's a comment about the DM32s. You can find those there, and I have one always within reach. Great radio, good stuff.
Yeah, I tell you that the one you posted, man, it looks pretty dope.
Yeah, I have one here tomorrow, and I'll be checking that out.
Yeah. All right. So kind of set the theme where ICE is coming from, because in the last I guess maybe 48 hours, it seems to me that ICE has become way more vigorous against people who are impeding their attempts to conduct law enforcement activities. And so I thought that Stephen Miller had a vigorous defense of their actions there on two separate interviews. So I have two clips from that here. Here's the first one. It says DHS is sending this message out to all ICE agents from Stephen Miller. Go ahead and play this clip.
To all ICE officers, you have federal immunity in the conduct of your duties. And anybody who lays a hand on you or tries to stop you or tries to obstruct you is committing a felony. You have immunity to perform your duties, and no one, no city official, no state official, no illegal alien, no leftist agitator or domestic insurrectionist can prevent you from fulfilling your legal obligations and duties. And the Department of Justice has made clear that if officials cross that line into obstruction, into criminal conspiracy against the United States or against ICE officers, then they will face justice. To all ICE officers.
Yeah, Joe, you know a lot more about this. What's your kind of take on that?
It's 100% true and it's accurate. However, it's not always a felony. It depends upon the type of obstruction given.
Yeah.
Also, they have given a lot of grace to people prior to this statement. There have been a lot of people who should have been arrested who were not. For example, guys standing in front of cars who get shoved out of the way. You should be arrested. And when they say, "Oh, he just shoves this guy for no reason," no, obstruction is a crime, and he shoved him to get him out of the way. You can't just stand in front of people in traffic. That's a crime in every state. You can't obstruct traffic on purpose. But I do find interesting is his use of the term insurrectionist, because as you recall, that was the term used by the left to describe anyone who even remotely was adjacent to January 6th, shared a meme, shared a picture, whatever. They're an insurrectionist. So I believe it might be pointing towards the invocation of the Insurrection Act.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they're laying down the kind of the logical framework for that to go down. All right, so this is the second one. Is a clip from the Rapid Response 47 account. This is a White House account that it has like quick kind of hits. Minneapolis is a sophisticated insurgency involving a large number of radicalized extremists and violent left-wing operators.
Get Mike Shelby on the phone. Did they just call it an insurgency? It is not.
He's been a little on the obstinate side on that, if I remember the other day, right?
Yeah.
Minnesota, the president of the United States is never going to make a decision about what to do or what not to do based on how it might upset the violent left-wing insurgents. His obligation, what he is supremely committed to, is enforcing and upholding the sovereignty of the United States. I'm familiar with the video that you're referencing, where a mob of Somali refugees swarmed ICE officers, and the profound contempt this refugee population that has built this nation has for our country, our flag, our law enforcement officers. And what I would just say to reassure your audience, to reassure you, is that under the new federal surge that has taken place and the additional assets that have been put in place under President Trump's direction, under Secretary Noem's leadership, we now have the resources we need not only to protect the safety and security of our ICE officers and our border agents and their operations, but to begin the work of identifying, disrupting, and dismantling these insurgent networks. As you mentioned, they're very coordinated. They have ICE spotters and ICE watchers. They use chats to communicate with each other, to identify the location, and then they train their insurgents on how to block ICE vehicles, how to try to free arrestees, and then they dox ICE officers, they follow them home, they follow them to where they sleep at night. So again, it's a sophisticated insurgency involving a large number of radicalized, extremist, violent left-wing operators stoked by the Democrat Party. The resources and strategy is in place now, and you're going to see significant numbers. There's already been in the recent days a huge increase in arrests of domestic insurgents, but those numbers are going to increase. And I just want to put this back to the American people. You said it, Laura. Americans voted in a landslide to uphold the sovereignty of this country. Americans, by overwhelming majorities, oppose mass Somali fraud. Americans, by overwhelming majorities, just oppose Somali refugee resettlement in principle. So the public is behind this. Minnesota was once a pristine state, perfect education, no crime, no unrest, no violence, and then they ruined all of it, Laura, and President Trump is saving it.
Well said. But it might be too late. I mean, it's kind of like the deeper a tick gets its head down in your skin, the harder it is to pull it out.
Here's the craziest thing. Every one of those people they dragged out of the road and threw on the ground should have been arrested.
Yeah, right.
But they don't really have the manpower to do it. So,
yeah, that's the big problem, right? And this is always the truth, right? When it comes to a crowd, like ultimately the thing that saves police 9 times out of 10 is the fact that the crowd is scared of the police. If they lose the fear of the police, then all of a sudden that crowd, as we can see, gives the limited amount of law enforcement a big problem.
Well, here's the thing, though. Fear of the police is the only reason why right-wing people have not come out and solved this problem for ICE. And if fear of police goes away on both sides, they should understand that that is a two-way street, and they will end up on the losing end of that.
Hey, Scott, what happens to the good order and discipline of a group of men if you punish one for one thing and let another one very obviously get off for the same thing?
That definitely, that's a quick trip to demoralization and probably insubordination eventually.
I do love them just popping people with 37 millimeter chalk rounds all day long. I could watch that all day.
I know. I'm here for it, Joe. Talk about something that probably won't ever kill anybody, unless you just got a really unlucky shot to the head to an old person or somebody like that, or a child. You're not going to kill somebody.
Too much chalk. Yeah.
And then they've been hitting them in the chest, which, let's be honest, that would hurt like the devil, but it's not going to break anything.
Yeah.
So this next one is
M320s. That's good.
This next one is kind of interesting. This is one of the wildest ice videos I've seen yet, is what the guy says here.
Here we go.
Please no whistles.
A white man. Just
We're good. All right. We're good. You're good. I tried my best. Sorry, boys. All right.
Oh, I guess he's trying to pit him.
Get him, guys! Why are you afraid of him? He's gonna kill someone. This is now a federal felony. Knock him out! Knock him out. Hit him. Oh, they're pointing guns out the window. It's gonna be block him. Block him. Block him. Block him. Box. Tight box. Tight box. Yep. Tight box. Good. Watch the crossfire. Watch the crossfire. Crossfire!
And so that's the important point. You heard him say that guy's going to kill someone, right?
Yeah.
These people driving these vehicles thinking they're some sort of a rebel protecting people. You're actually putting more people at risk. And I want to address something that I've seen a couple of people ask the question of. Are they not arresting them because they have limited arrest authority? That is a fallacy spread by the left. ICE does not have limited arrest authority. ICE agents are qualified 1811s. An 1811 is a criminal investigator across the entire federal system, and they have full arrest authority. ICE has their own detention facilities. It's just that they need to be focused on what they're supposed to be doing. And they're trying to give people the benefit of the doubt and allowing them to protest. But at some point, they're going to stop that.
I think the other side of this is that normally the dynamic would work that the state would sweep in and pick up the lawmakers on the lower level, whereas the feds would only take the people that are doing higher level crimes because the state has a lot more resources to prosecute that sort of thing than the feds do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's certain things are federal felonies, but other things are, specifically local felonies, and it's if the locals play nice with the feds, then there's all kinds of stuff they can get them with. But ultimately, it's obstruction, that's the kind of thing, or assault. Like anytime that vehicle it hit their vehicle, that's assault.
Yeah.
And it's possibly attempted murder, the way they were driving. So, and those rounds that they're using, Joe, I wonder if those are like a baton, like a type of baton round.
They are, but they're just loosely encased chalk, so as soon as they hit something, they burst open.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. ICE says it's getting harder to do their job. Let's watch this. This is a video from Fox News.
Out of the car. Open the window.
So this one's pretty crazy.
Yeah, Joe, watch this one. This is crazy.
Watch out behind you. Watch out.
They should have shot him.
Holy. Watch out in front of you. Watch out in front.
Wait to see how this develops, but right here would have been the opportune moment to shoot this person.
That's deadly force right there. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Cut it off! Now! Cut it off! Turn off the car! Cut it off! Come out of the car! Come out of the car! Come out! Now! Hey! I'm here!
All right, here with reaction, ICE Director Todd Lyons. I mean, if that doesn't educate the public about these ramming incidents. I don't know what else will, on top of what happened. Previously, we now have 3 in recent days. Very dangerous now. Do you tie a lot of this danger to the rhetoric of people like Tim Walz, who compares ICE to Gestapo?
Yeah, Sean, unfortunately, when we hear elected officials calling upon individuals to impede or obstruct, ICE law enforcement operations nationwide, you're going to see incidents like this. And that was a video you're probably not going to see on mainstream media, right? That actually shows exactly what's happening. You saw the officers and agents attempting to apprehend a criminally illegal alien, and there they are using their car as a weapon. The lead vehicle, the ICE vehicle, the gray one that was struck, that officer had to go to the hospital with neck injuries. And every day, Sean, this is what the men and women of ICE are facing. It's constant impediments, constant attacks like this. And, it's not safe for my folks. It's not safe for the public. It really needs to stop.
What do you make of these groups that have instructions on how to confront and basically fight with ICE agents? They call it a micro antifada, and I can go into all the details of it. I'm sure you're closely aware of it. But we're talking about a strategy laid out by groups of people to make your jobs harder and obstruct justice. Should those people be arrested?
100%, Sean. Any law enforcement officer will tell you, it's a constitutional right, go out there and protest. But when you have organized criminal gangs, which these are, that are organizing these groups to, again, impede or obstruct law enforcement operations, lawful law enforcement agents, enacting the laws that Congress has written, that's a criminal act. And I will tell you that Homeland Security investigations, my folks, the FBI, we're investigating these, and people are going to be held accountable, because you can't organize groups to go out and impede law enforcement. It's a criminal act, and we have to act swiftly to cause this from spreading.
The guy has a Canadian accent. I'm wondering if he's from Canada at some point.
Philadelphia's
I'm
DA.
surprised that Sean Hannity didn't say, "This is why I train in MMA."
Hannity, I'm sorry. Yeah, I've been watching clips recently, mostly because of his Iran stuff, and I have to say, it infuriates me that you people still empower that man. The amount of utter fucking backstabbing bullshit he's done, and then on top of that, he's a fucking terrible host. No guest he has is able to get a word in edgewise.
Interesting.
Sean Hannity has been kind of insufferable for a lot of years. MMA notwithstanding. Right. Honestly, even before he was insufferable, he was just boring. I always thought him as the dollar store Rush Limbaugh.
Well, no, I'm going to bring it up just in case nobody knows this, but he's been exposed multiple times for being an utterly backstabbing piece of shit. There are multiple major stories that have needed to break to the whole nation, and he won't allow the person who came on his show to talk about it to go on anybody else's show per contract that he signs. So he locks it all down to just his show, despite the fact that it's literally major national news. The dude is scum.
Roland Court, I am right there with you, brother. I miss him too.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of, let's just take a quick moment and mention the passing of Scott Adams.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, although he and I had a couple of very public disagreements on Twitter, overall it was a positive good. Dilbert was a fantastic and amazing creation, and Dilbert is probably where the red flag was first raised about rampant Indian immigration into the IT field. Because Dilbert had a few run-ins himself. So
he was talking about that back in the early 2000s, maybe even in the 90s.
Yeah. So,
nice to see you, Stormy. Thank you for dropping in. Rip Scott Adams. Here's the thing. I only became aware of him as a kind of a podcaster and all that kind of stuff, right before COVID started. And I never really paid. I watched clips from him, but I never watched his show. I've actually looked into some of his books based on some of his writings here in the last couple weeks. And so I think I might check some of those out. And, you know, I mean, I'm not a big self-help kind of guy, and these are very much self-help type books, but
genuinely for his sake, Squish. Genuinely for his sake.
I believe him because I don't think Scott Adams would lie like that. Just because if you don't believe something, then ultimately you're just doing it for, you know, like literally clout, like right before you kick the bucket. I don't think that makes a whole lot of sense.
Hey, guys who were in my Bible study, we talked about this very thing last night, right? You have to truly receive him before you get that great gift. So God knows whether it was true or not, and that's between him and Scott Adams, not the rest of us. So
that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And you know, you got to say that about pretty much anybody who professes to be a Christian. It's like, you know,
yet to all who received him and to all who called upon his name, he gave the right to be called children of God. So there you go.
Yeah, you know, Joe, it was really hard for me to kind of wrap my head around the fact that like the most heinous person literally could have a deathbed conversion, and by the rules, if it's real, then they go the same place that somebody who's been a Christian all their life does. So
I don't know. That was 1,000% accurate, but it's pretty close. It's pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that was hard for me to wrap my head around. I'm sure there's some gray area in there.
Not meant for us to understand, my man. Not meant for us to understand.
Amen, brother. Amen.
I am buying you a book, Joe. You don't have to read it, but I've talked to you about it a couple times now, and I'm just going to buy it for you and leave it in the office. You're gonna love it.
All right. Let's see. Moving on to the next one here. Yeah. So this is. I thought this was cool, Joe. What do you notice there, middle of the screen there? What do you like? One guy didn't have a helmet on. Who the hell was that guy?
I love that he's leading the charge on all this.
I do too, man. He leads from the front, and I really respect that.
Look, if I was in his role, I'd be out having fun too.
Yeah, he could literally. I choose to have fun. I'm going out with the boys.
Listen, I'll be honest. Having to conduct more kinetic law enforcement operations when that's your job can be fun.
And here's the funny thing, Joe. People are like trying to compare the suppression of these protests to the suppression of the Iranian people that's going on. I'm just like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Like getting shoved, like.
So let me give some context before people say, well, they just walk up and drop this guy. They were told to disperse and move because ICE needed to come down that walkway. You don't have a right to just stand there in front of other people and stop them. So it's like if I'm walking through the shopping mall, somebody else is walking through the shopping mall, they can't step in front of me and stop. Despite no matter how many people have tried that, it always ends the same way, right? Just boom, you get pushed. So it's not like they just walked up and randomly started shoving these people. They were ordered to disperse. They were told it was an unlawful assembly, and they continue to remain there.
I'm going to use your name to respond to why push. Karen, no.
Speaking of Karens.
I just explained, right? They were told to get out of the way and did not.
Yeah. Incel protesters banging to be hit. Yeah, a lot of these guys I think are incel-ish that I've seen, at least some of the men. Anyway, so Eric Doherty, who posted this, says, boom, Commander Greg Bovino leads a full charge against leftist agitators in Minneapolis. White liberals get pummeled to the ground. I voted for this. Yep.
So he this just came across my timeline, just freshly posted. We already watched this video. He just commented on it. Perfectly stated for there are now 2,800 federal agents in the Minneapolis area, which is 5 times the number of local Minneapolis police officers. Can't be stopped.
Well, here's the problem.
All right, so
there are a finite number of federal agents, and the more you send to one particular city, the less that are available across the entire nation.
Right.
So
right.
It's true.
Hopefully they're transferring those IRS agents over to Homeland Security.
factual and true. But I'm going to take a moment here and say, go to, I believe it's ice.gov, and go look at all the many ways that you yourself can sign up to help this this effort, which includes for many positions a $50,000 signing bonus.
Yeah, you do it. You could do it for the length of the Trump administration, and then if a damn lefty comes in, then you just drop your retirement or your ETS orders, and you're like, all right, I did my 3 years of service, and I'm out, or 2 years, or whatever it is.
And let me point something out. Y'all know that I'm generally anti-law enforcement and specifically anti-federal law enforcement. But this is indeed a job that needs to be done, and it is way overdue. So, yeah, I'm going to support this particular operation.
Yeah, Joe, this is actually one of those things. It's kind of like with military force. In most cases, we are against the use of military force, specifically boots on the ground. But there are always those cases that are like, listen, this is what we should use military force for. Well, this is a perfect example of the purpose of federal law enforcement, because this, especially immigration enforcement, is a very specific federal kind of line of enforcement.
Yeah. I'm also going to just point one other thing out here, which is all the libertarians shrieking about how, but this is increasing the power of government. Listen, Bucko, you don't get to
by Lolberts all week, right?
Right? Yeah. Look, you don't get to use the federal government in order to try and force a foreign population on us and then try and make the argument, but you can't use the same tool to send them back. No, get fucked. We're doing it. Also, Lolberts, you're going in the crystal.
Yeah. All right. So this next one is very interesting. So the first, Watcher, do the woman first, and then we'll do the response after.
Hey, you know what? Let me address something real quick. Pete Robert Tucci, I did not realize you were in the chat. Let's get together and get a time to bring you on the show. Author of the Eden Army series. We're going to make an effort to get you on the show, Pete.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're 100% right, dude. 100% right.
All right. Let's see this gal.
PSA.
And I'm sorry, that's as loud as it goes.
Jonathan Ross lives in my town, Chaska, Minnesota. There are 2 police squad cars sitting in front of his home. Earlier this morning, I passed just to see what kind of action was there. Saw the police officers there this morning. I did a U-turn by them, turned out, and then went to go do an errand. I came back because I wanted to ask if they were protecting him or if they're protecting the general public. And the police officers basically said, we're here to protect the community. He looked at me like I was some idiot, and, it is what it is, but I don't really believe him. I think they're protecting him. I think he's hiding out in his house, and I'd love for everyone who doesn't like him circle around in his neighborhood. I won't say exactly what road, if it's court.
Yeah, that's enough fucking around for me. I'd like to wait for the find out now.
So breaking, woman residing in Ice Agent Ross neighborhood is calling on leftists to begin targeting his home for harassment, asserting that he is hiding there. And then
we need to stop using the words harassment because she knows exactly what she's calling for. They're calling for murder.
Yeah. Huntsman here says...
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to kind of this is a guy who also lives nearby. He says, my home is nearby, and one of my children sometimes plays in the neighborhood in question. I also know who this woman is. She does not want to go this route.
Yeah, that's actually a friend of the show there and a U.S. government official. So, that's not cool. I want to point out, though, from an investigator behavioral analysis thing, she's whispering and quiet in this video she put on the internet. Because what she's saying isn't true, and she doesn't want it to be heard. That's why she's so quiet in the video. She's just making it wrap up. So
So yeah, I thought that was very interesting, and it just kind of illustrates what links these people will go to, and it'll be washing the blood from my hands when something bad happens to him for all these Karens, I guess is the best good as word as any. So yeah, this next one is this the next one? Is this the one you just played, Watcher? No, this is different. I mean,
oh yeah, this is a different cut, and it goes longer.
Holy crap! There are now 2,800 federal agents in Minneapolis, nearly 5 times the amount of local Minneapolis police officers. The largest deportation operation in U.S. history cannot be stopped, no matter how much the left riots.
Oh, that's how it works? He gets to just say that?
Well, you'll see. She doesn't listen.
I know. Hey, go that way. Hey, back the fuck up. Sidewalk, 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 sidewalk.
Anybody with the whistles needs to catch a pep around to the face. That's the new rule.
Go, go, go. This is how they got that other woman killed.
Once they've made the decision that you are under arrest, you are under arrest.
Just because you don't have the cuffs on yet, you are just as under arrest as. Oh, he just sliced her.
He hasn't yet. He's pulling out his cutter right now.
Yeah.
Guys, this is why we put a seatbelt cutter in the same place on our gear every day.
I'll be honest with you, as cool as it is having a big old knife like that to cut stuff.
It's very dangerous. Yeah.
It's very dangerous, especially when somebody's flailing around like she is. The seatbelt cutter does everything.
Yeah.
That's why you keep the seatbelt cutter right where you can get it with either hand. So here's the deal. She was blocking an intersection, which means she was impeding traffic in 2 different directions, including impeding a federal law enforcement operation. They gave her the option to go, and she chose not to, so they decided she was under arrest. There's nothing illegal about that. That's not them trampling anybody's rights. They told her to go, and she refused. Pretty simple.
And now she's in a federal lockup. And they may transfer her over to the local PD for a local charge versus a federal one, but I doubt it. I bet they're going to give these people federal charges.
There's a couple questions in the chat about ERO. ERO means enforcement and removal operations. It's a type of federal agent. So,
yeah,
there's all kinds of flavors of federal agents out there.
Well, they're still ICE agents. They just work in a specific team.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Like BORTAC is part of.
Yeah, they're like BORTAC. They're like an SRT unit. It's just ERO.
All right. Next one up here. Agent ICE deploys flashbang before arresting anti-ICE protesters in Minneapolis. More of this, please. Clap. This may be that same charge where they went after. No, I think it's a different one. I love the American flag face mask.
Chris
that looks like local PD.
Pretty interesting gas masks on these guys too.
Back up. More.
That's interesting. Those other guys are federal protective.
Oh, that's
service
DHS.
officers.
Yeah. DHS.
Those other ones right there that say police on their back, in the blue or the black, those are federal protective service agents, which is the police force for federal property. That's an outstanding point, Durna, that you just made. And Jay Clark, too. That's that other video right there. Different angle.
Yeah. Yeah, the same action from a different angle.
Yeah.
Better angle. You're gonna get more fight on sights here. Yeah. Oh, come on, move. Pan. Oh.
I now see why there are FPS officers there. That's the federal
right?
building in the background.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's. Yeah, right there.
And those people were blocking the driveway access to the federal building.
I'm also hearing a lot of unregistered destructive devices going on.
Jim Satala says people are getting confused and saying released without charges because the feds have to indict them for the crimes.
That's a great point. A lot of people are saying, oh, they wrongly detained this American citizen and released him without charges. The vast majority of federal arrests are done that way. You get arrested and released, and then later on you get a letter in the mail that says you have been indicted. Please report to the courthouse on this day. So,
right. Yeah. For grand jury or something along these.
And when they say, oh, they detained this U.S. citizen and eventually had to let him go, they're being detained for things like obstruction or harboring or something like that, not for an actual immigration charge.
Yeah, Durna, I'm with you here. I love seeing all these guys who said masculinity is obsolete and get dad walked over. All right. Let's see.
Stop the hate, that car says, as they scream about all the hate about ICE agents, right?
Right. There's one more video just below it, Watcher. I guess this is before it. This is the first in the series, maybe right here.
So,
that's a short one.
When y'all saw that flashbang go off, we're going to be testing one soon. A reusable one, and this one has my logo on it, so we like it even more.
Yeah.
I won't be selling them, but the guy who made them gave me one with the logo on it, so very cool. We'll be testing one as soon as the ammo for it arrives.
Here's the other thing too, right? So this is another car extraction. Looks like the window is busted out. Looks like there was a driver and a passenger that gets detained.
This is the one everyone says, I can't believe they're so tough. I can't believe it took them so many to detain them. You try detaining a human being who does not want to go to jail. It's not as easy as you think.
On the ice.
Yeah. People get superhuman strength when they don't want to be arrested.
I don't know about this guy's Nikes being the best shoe for this type of activity, though. We might have to send him a pair of,
Yeah, so there's some good boots. That guy's got some ice trackers on his boots. Yak tracks.
This is a guy who came in from out of town. He was not prepared for
the one who doesn't have the yak tracks is from out of town. Somebody tried to point out in this video that move is now illegal according to Minnesota law. Neat. Federal agents don't have to abide by Minnesota law.
This next video proves that it's not just the feds that are getting tired of these fuckers and going after. This next video is very interesting. He's basically being assaulted by this guy with the megaphone that you'll see, and this patriot basically gets fed up.
Listen, you know, in my ear, same thing would have happened to you, but it would have happened much, much sooner.
Yeah.
Before I play this, I just want to say I can't wait to get the unnecessary commentary version of this from What's His Face, the MMA commentator.
Oh my God! He bodied him. He got that guy down.
Oh, you're a little ahead of everybody.
This guy comes in for a little bit.
Scott, you're quite ahead of everybody. I only just started it.
You just I've got it going on my other window. I'm sorry. All right, he's getting ready to take out the guy with the. Hey, this first of all, Joe, just real quick. Hey, pause it here. Explain why this is assault, or it's maybe battery.
It has the potential to cause bodily harm, which includes your hearing, right?
Permanent hearing damage. Yep.
It can cause hearing damage. Therefore, it constitutes bodily harm and is assault. 100%.
Yeah. So this guy is absolutely within his right to defend himself from a ongoing assault.
You also don't have the right to harass me in public. So I don't even need him to actually assault me. You do have a right to stop a harassment like this.
Yeah.
In fact, when you buy these, they have a sticker right on them that says directly, "Do not do this."
This guy's just going after him. There's a third guy. This guy wants some. He comes in for it.
Yes, to him.
All right, but here's the push pause. So the one in the red is the guy, the original guy who started it. Watch what happens to this guy.
This ends too soon.
I can't tell you how many times I have watched this video, and I guess
I think we need to see that in slow mo, Watcher. I don't know if you could zoom in on it, but we could definitely slow mo it.
Squishy Hunter says, I remember when a large YouTuber and his friend were harassing a rando in the mall, and the rando shot the YouTuber. Yeah, and was later found to have been acted in lawful self-defense.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't need that.
Yeah, so he's trading blows. And this other guy's like, oh man, he got the better of me. I gotta drop the umbrella.
Oh look, I'm gonna take my gloves off. Here I come.
I know. I'm serious now. I'm super serial. Here I come. Here I come. And there he goes. Off switch. Boom.
What's funny is that guy's punch uses momentum against him, right? That kid was building momentum as he was walking. Yeah. I was like, that's okay. This will catch you right when you get there. Boom.
Well, that's what you call landing on your fourth point of contact right there, though.
Jay Clark, we need a frying pan bong put in that knockout. Yes.
That's funny.
Oh, man.
And so this last one, this is one of the things that has come out in recent days that I think will change the equation. And it's not just for Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's for places all over. Now, I don't know that this is in America, but these are definitely Somalians. President Trump is ending the temporary protection status of thousands of Somalis, requiring them to leave the country by March 17th. Get them all out. Yep, 100%. And the thing that pisses me off is they're basically taking the Bonnie Blue flag and have abrogated it to their
that's a Somali
heretical cause. No, but before it was the Somali national flag, the darker blue version of the single white star flag was the Confederate flag.
Somebody pointed out that the new Minnesota flag can't be flown upside down, or rather, like, you can't tell if it's being flown upside down.
Yeah, right. Because it's Joe, hurrah for the Bonnie Blue flag that bears a single star.
I know, but we don't get exclusive rights to it forever. I mean, they're an entirely different country on an entirely different continent.
Well, just like the Nazis get all upset when they
were not well versed in American Civil War history.
Shocking, right? Though somebody posts a meme underneath this video that says more whites were brought to as slaves to North Africa than blacks brought as slaves to the United States or to the 13th colonies for which it was formed. White slaves are being bought and sold in the Ottoman Empire decades after black slaves were freed from the United States. Good point there, Mr.
Note,
Thomas
slaves are
Sowell.
still being sold in North Africa today.
And India is the largest, probably the largest single market for slavery that's ever existed in the world.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is that you can look at the travel advisories for nearly every sub-Saharan African nation. And one of the risks and dangers they say is involuntary labor. That's a really fancy way to say slavery, but they can't say slavery because it's Africa.
I don't know about Ibn, but there definitely weren't any Pharaoh IDs in the South either.
I don't know about that.
Muhammad Pharaoh
was a very common name.
Oh my God! Dude, I tell you, the things the memes that are under this are fucking harsh. Like whites without blacks, blacks without whites, like all these kind of like.
I like this one though. This is good.
Yeah. Felicia, patron saints and farewells.
Bye, Felicia.
For some reason, that reminds me of Saint Javelin from the early days of the Ukraine war. All right. Trump tells protesters help is on its way, cuts off negotiations with the regime. All right. So this is kind of what has developed in the last 48 hours on the policies front with Iran. President's message to protesters, which remains vague, comes amid reports that at least 12,000 have been killed by the regime. And that was as of 2 days ago. This story is dated January 13th, and the deaths have gotten even crazier since then. So I would not.
Saw yesterday, it said interim Ayatollah and President of Venezuela Marco Rubio
I saw it.
in Greenland.
In Greenland, I saw that. I thought that was hilarious. There are new indications that the U.S. may be edging closer to a new round of attacks or other actions against Iran, and social media messaging addressed to the Iranian protesters. United States, Donald Trump. You pull up this first rapid response 47 one while I read this. Announced that he has cut off further negotiations with the government officials, urged the massive nationwide demonstrations to continue, and implied future U.S. intervention. The comments were made by Trump, who previously vowed to take action against Iran if the crackdown on protesters grew too bloody. Came reports as many as 20,000 people have been killed by the regime. So, yeah, I've heard as high by today of almost 50,000. So, let's see. He says, Iranian patriots, keep protesting, take over your institutions, save the names of the killers and abusers. They will pay a big price. I have canceled all meetings with Iranian officials until the senseless killing of protesters stops. Help is on the way. MAGA, make Iran great again. Let's see. I think there's go down to the Carolyn Levitt open source intel tweet in the story. And let's listen to what she has to say. It's a short clip. Yeah, you got to let them load first.
So I want to point out that
is that what the Iranian regime is saying publicly.
Push pause. Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
We pointed out on this show, like when this all began, that this regime was willing to kill tens of thousands. And that's how it always is with authoritarian regimes, because they know what comes next. If you lose, there's no negotiation. You're dead. So they're willing to kill scores of thousands of people.
Oh, yeah. It just like China would be willing to kill millions in order to to maintain power.
Because they have billions more.
Yeah.
is quite different from the messages they are sending to the United States and the Trump administration privately. President Trump, as for him, he has always expressed that diplomacy is the first option, always has been, always will be. However, he is unafraid to use the lethal force and might of the United States military if and when he deems that necessary. And nobody knows that better than the Iranian regime. The greatest leverage the regime had just several months ago was their nuclear program, which President Trump and the United States military totally obliterated through Operation Midnight Hammer. And so what President Trump will do next, only he knows. So the world will have to keep waiting and guessing, and we will let him decide. I'm certainly not going to broadcast any future options or decisions from the president on national television. What I will
go down if there's one. It's you'll see a post in Hebrew. It's underneath that. It's that one right there. I think. Yeah, play that one right here. This is Mashhad, Iran. Last night, IRGC. Push pause. Let me read this first so people know what they're looking at here. IRGC besieged personnel inside a building fire live rounds at the massive crowd. Crimes against humanity are happening in plain sight. All right, go ahead and push play. So, I mean, they're just taking pot shots.
I want to point out that the media symbol at the end of that was the royalists, Iranian.
Yeah. And then yeah, this is the 16th day of the protests. Play the next one. It's kind of funny. So this is them actually having a little fun with this. This is a video from Nishapur during the blackout. The people topple a public telephone, then pick it up to make a call. Bros in Tehran join. We fuck their IRGC mothers. I'm making a call from Nishapur. That's what he said.
That's okay. Yeah, I saw how blurred out this was and was worried
it was
something else was going to happen.
Yeah, it's to protect the identity of the people that are in the video. The next one, it does show the body bags. I think this is okay to show some of these images here. It's not graphic, so you've got like almost every big city has got this type of a scene. Just morgues are overflowing. And here's one of the other things they're not telling people is that, well, the mainstream media is not telling people. The IRGC will go into an area, shoot a bunch of people, like a couple hundred people, right? And then they'll bring in trucks and then they'll police up all the bodies. And then they're basically saying, you got to pay us $20,000 US to get the body of your loved one back.
Yeah. And think about this. If they killed as many as if they killed even 12,000, how many more have they wounded? Right.
Yeah.
Probably 3 times that number at a minimum.
So based on the information received, those killed were mainly shot by forces of the IRGC and the Basij. The killing was fully organized, not the result of sporadic and unplanned clashes. But this just keeps on going. Like, I think I'm going to go to the next one here. This story kind of gives you a good overview of where we are since the so let's kind of move into some of the other bigger stories that have developed in the last 12 hours or so. All right, class report here. This is from about 12 hours ago, I guess, 5 hours ago, 6 hours ago, something like that. Iran's warning. Iran has warned U.S. allies in the Middle East that it will strike U.S. bases on their soil if if the United States attacks Iran. By the way, Saudi Arabia has publicly said that the United States cannot fly over or base forces that are attacking Iran over their land. That's fine. We don't need to.
Here we go. From Jim.
Infighting in Tehran and Qom, IRGC at best fighting for the grift. No military leader needs to find a way to step in. Yeah, 100%. And I think you're going to see the Iranian army. There have been videos coming in of both conscripts and leaders from the Iranian army supporting the protesters. Making a video with your face blurred that says you support the protesters, that's great. But let's be honest, if you don't suit up and get in the fight, then ultimately it's not worth a damn. Iran's warnings were sent to countries like Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Turkey, and Qatar.
Yeah, I was going to say, listen, man, I'm seeing a lot of this weirdness of, these are all old videos, and it all seems to track back to a couple of influencers. And I'm just going to say, if those influencers haven't been proven entirely fucking... No, it's not just Hassan, unfortunately. It's interesting you point out Hassan, though, because Hassan's not even the worst of them, Scott. The worst of them are Nick Fuentes and Sneeko.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And all these pieces of shit on, like, no.
Nick Fuentes was having a moment about, 2 or 3 weeks ago? He has lost his moment. Anything that he got, I think he has completely lost it.
No, I think you're wrong. No, he's played it perfectly, and other people have called this out. He needed Trump to denounce him, and now that Trump's denounced him, I guarantee you his numbers are going to do better than they've ever done before.
Oh, that's because.
But it's going to be like Nick Spencer, because by the end of midterms, he's going to be a non-entity.
Yeah, I don't know about non-entity, but he will always be a very kind of niche kind of person who's always going to have some angry, closeted gays who want to hang out with him.
Yeah, thank you. Joe, I completely... Hold on. Joe, you might as well say it out loud, man. It's facts.
Yeah, Fuentes is a plant. He's put there to create a certain image and to draw things away from the core. That's his job.
But listen, there are enough physical reports coming out from on the ground from verifiable sources that you really should stop listening to these retards. I don't know what to tell you.
Speaking of plants, you know who I listened to last night that I haven't heard from, and I don't know, going on about 2 years now, is Curtis Yarvin.
Oh God.
The interview was actually pretty good that he did with Peter Bette Davis, but I mean, that guy just kind of like the 20% that he talks about just kind of gets under my crotch because he's a monarchist. So I'm so the other way from that. So
I'm with you.
Yeah, it's the whole elitist kind of thing that I just can't get on board with. All right, so this next one is kind of an interesting kind of leak, I guess, that you could call this. 50 targets locked. Trump's Iran strike list is real. Trump administration now holds a detailed hit list of 550. By the way, take this with a fucking huge grain of salt, of course. This is the source is the Daily Mail and La Repubblica. So, like I said, keep it with a grain of salt. But I'll be honest with you. Repeating those other ones, but yeah, I agree. I actually agree with this report, though. I think this report is true.
But we do this in every nation on the planet.
Exactly right.
These lists already exist.
And it's called dynamic targeting. We do it at any time we are even considering putting together a strike list.
But most of the lists are already sitting on a shelf. We just pull them out and tweak them. Right.
Well, and it basically goes to inform what's called the JPEL, or the Joint Prioritized Effects List, which is a joint kind of something created the Joint Staff for war plans and war operations. It's the guys who are eating all those Papa John's pizzas at the middle of the night in the Pentagon are the guys who are sitting there making these lists.
Whomper. You know what that refers to.
Yeah.
You're an old guy like us, and you watch the same movie.
Yeah. The Trump administration now holds a detailed list of 50 high-value IRGC targets inside Iran, including Tehran's core military command hubs used to suppress protests. The list names specific bases, security brigades, regional IRGC Basij centers coordinating the crackdown that's left over 2,000 protesters dead. The message is clear. They want Khamenei out. The White House has the coordinates and is running out of patience. Somebody told me that Khamenei is not even a Persian name. It's actually like an Afghan name.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I thought that was interesting. I just assume he's Iranian. All right. So kind of going on simultaneously, this was a story from yesterday. U.S. Central Command on January 13th announced the launch of their new air defense coordination cell in Qatar. Looky. You think they're getting ready for what comes next? CENTCOM, the U.S. military's command that oversees the operations in the Middle East, said that the new unit is located at Al Udeid Air Base and will be operated by personnel from the United States and other regional partners. Called the Middle Eastern Air Defense Combined Defense Operations Cell. That's a hell of a name. Meade CDOC, I guess. The center is situated within the existing Combined Air Operations Center at Al Udeid Air Force Base. Over the past 20 years, 17 nations have helped coordinate air operations from the Combined Air Operations Center. This is a significant step forward in strengthening regional defense cooperation, said Admiral Brad Cooper, the commander of CENTCOM. This cell will help improve how regional forces coordinate just in time, Joe, for Iran. Let's see. U.S. forces helped blunt the Iranian barrage last year, with CENTCOM reporting it intercepted 80 drones and 6 ballistic missiles. The American forces in the region again helped intercept Iranian ballistic missiles bound for Israel in October. The Israel and Iran came to blow in June 2025. The U.S. again helped intercept Iranian attacks targeting Israel. After U.S. forces struck Iran on June 22nd, Al Udeid Air Force Base came under direct retaliatory attacks from Iran, and U.S. and Qatari air defense forces arrayed around the base defended against multiple missiles. Let's see. So Qatar continues to be a supporter of Iran and Hamas. Continues to be a friend to us during this period of time. I don't know.
Maybe it could just solve their differences for a minute.
Friend, I'll be honest with you. Once Iran falls, I think that changes Qatar's situation in a big way.
Yeah, Qatar is known to just hedge their bets.
Yeah. This next one, U.S. personnel reportedly told to leave major Qatar base by tonight. So what this probably means is just evacuating non-necessary personnel. Let's see. This is the Al Udeid Air Base. That's the biggest U.S. air base in the Middle East. Around 10,000 troops are normally there. This is the same base Iran already hit last year. We just talked about that. Embassy isn't commenting, which means it's not a drill. They did the same thing for June, just before June, on the strikes on Iran. Quiet drawdowns first, then things got loud. This lines up with Iran warning the Gulf states that U.S. bases would be targets if Iran gets hits. Here's the thing:
troops if they're Air Force personnel.
Troops, airmen, chairman. Right. All right. So this was not in my bingo card, but it doesn't surprise me when I heard about it. Pakistan Army is reportedly deploying 30,000 additional troops along the Iran border after Army Chief Asim Munir received a call from senior U.S. officials. Sources say the move may be support U.S.-Israeli coordination if ground action begins in Iran.
Or turn away refugees that stream towards the border.
Well, let me give you a more bellicose idea there. Actually, go ahead and open the next tweet, Watcher. I'm tired of looking at that ponytail.
I want to point out
that regulations ponytail
warns us to be wary of the Khomeini replacement, Ayatollah Scheinbaum.
So, Joe, when I was looking at this convoy, I kind of had a different thought, right? It's a little more kind of bellicose in that I wonder if there's land or there's bad guys in Iran that Pakistan would like to action against in the immediate fall of the Iranian regime, like to kind of settle some scores and maybe even claim some territory. I don't know
if the region is Balochistan, it's entirely possible.
Yeah. I mean, it says the Iran border, but it doesn't say exactly where. But I would be surprised if it is in Balochistan. All right, so this is another kind of interesting piece of news here. Kurdish group claims control of IRGC base in Kermanshah. Kurdistan Freedom Party says it seized an Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps headquarters in Kermanshah, Western Iraq. No official confirmation yet, but if true, it marks a major escalation. Yeah, that's exactly right. So, and I'll be honest with you, I think this is very plausible. All right. Although the occupying enemy has this is just some of the statement from the Kurds here. It says this operation is revenge for our martyred comrades. Our fallen comrades are avenged in the battlefield. Next thing you know, Joe, Turkey will be like, Iran, if you need help with your Kurds, let us know, and we'll be happy to drive all the way to Iran to genocide your Kurds for you.
Oh no. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, I got the next one ready.
Yeah, so this next one's about so a lot of the information that's coming out is coming out via Starlink. Well, evidently they're trying to get more Starlinks in there. Breaking, Iran has just announced the seizure of a huge shipment of Starlink. Since June 2025, possession of Starlink in Iran has been subject to espionage charges. And then Sarah Adams says, Iran can keep confiscating Starlinks and heroes will keep bringing them in. Fuck the mullahs.
The entire border of Pakistan is Balochistan.
Yeah. Yeah, then that makes total sense because
that agrees with your assessment. Yeah.
Do you remember I think it was last year, Joe, when Pakistan hit inside of Iran? It was just artillery rounds.
Inside of Iran,
yeah. And this is not just a tool of the Mossad doing this, right? This is very much like, I want to make some fucking money. I'm going to buy a bunch of these in Pakistan, and then I'm going to ship them in, smuggle them into Iran and sell for money. Because people watch TV on these things. They do everything with Starlink. So it's not just about, fighting the government. It's about,
Yeah, there's a comment that if Reza Pahlavi takes over, Iran's going to be staunchly pro-U.S. and Israel. I wouldn't be so sure.
Well, here's the thing, right? I don't think Reza Pahlavi is not a spring chicken, and I don't think he's got it in him to be his father. And his father, if you remember correctly, ran a very nasty secret police force. Yeah, I think there are two likely outcomes. I think the first one is a liberalization. Pahlavi runs a transitional council that probably has stakeholders from all the different ethnic groups and other political kind of opponents of the government, and then a new democratically whatever, maybe. But the other one, and the more I read into the whole situation, I'm giving more credence to is some sort of a balkanization and local with kind of a loose central government with strong autonomous regions with different,
sort of like Afghanistan, right? Warlords rule, right?
Yeah. I guarantee for a fact the Kurds are not going to give up. Just come on in, Persians. We'll lay down for you. We trust you.
This just goes further to the belief that the future is tribal, right? No matter where in the world, tribalism is making a comeback.
Well, Joe, in this part of the world, tribalism never left. Let's be honest.
Well, it's look. It's almost as if the more they try to algorithmically and by means of behavior modification suppress it, the stronger the instinct becomes.
Well, no, that
risk here is regime change in Iran going like regime change used to do in Central America and the Middle East. They overthrow one government, a new one comes in, and 4 months later they overthrow that government, and then 6 months later they overthrow that government yet again, right? So that's my biggest worry, is just an overall destabilization and, like Scott said, a balkanization. And each side then fights to take over the whole thing.
Yeah, here's the thing. The one thing that the current government has that I don't see anybody, and this is the reason why I'm leaning more towards balkanization, is because no one group has a lot of overwhelming power. And even if they do have power, I don't know that they're ready to go down the authoritarian route in order to kind of exercise.
Other than the 12er sect of Shia Islam. That's the entire point of the Ayatollah, right?
Yeah. I'd be interested to see what the numbers of true believers in that is. I mean, it's definitely higher now than it used to be, but I don't know. That being said, there are a lot of
is the one, and he controls the levers. So,
we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening there. That being said, there are people like this who are westernized. They are more individualistic. Let's be honest, people like this don't fit into this kind of society, right? Young Iranian man who crossed the border from Iran into Turkey records a message for the world. He says the people outside Iran have no idea just how many protesters have been murdered by the Islamic regime. He says that they're shooting at people's chest all the time. Yeah, I mean, I totally believe that.
الان رسیدم ترکیه بازار.
Let's see. I can read the subtitles here. Let me open it. All right, guys. I just arrived. Okay, guys. I just arrived in Turkey. With being a lot of trouble. Well, at all. They're killing everyone. They're killing everyone. They're killing people's kids in the street. Only foreign help matters. Only foreign help matters. Everyone calls the prince. He's not really a prince. A prince symbolizes freedom. He has nothing to do with royalty. People see him as a savior. They're killing people. They're ruthlessly shoot down anything they're doing, whoever they want. My flight was canceled. All international flights from Tehran, all foreign flights are canceled. I barely got an Iranian flight back. I really am not feeling well. Only foreign matters help. We can't understand until you're in Iran. Trump or whoever it is, only foreign matters will help. All the kids' hope is in you. Whoever is outside, I'm just a drop in the ocean. I can only tell that how I feel. I saw hell. I saw hell in Iran the past days.
I'm not sure how much I doubt the veracity of this video, because that guy would not have survived 25 minutes in Iran.
Well, this guy is a coward.
In his ear, he would not have survived.
Yeah, this guy's a coward, and he ran as soon as he got a chance to. He probably cowered in a basement.
No, my point is this: they would have thrown this man off of a building. Look at him.
Oh yeah.
He's not.
Yeah.
He doesn't fit an Iranian profile. I don't think he's an actual Iranian.
Well, I think he's probably lives in Turkey and then visited or something. He probably has a Turkish passport. That's about the only way.
He has Christian earrings. They would have killed him when he arrived. I'm not entirely certain that he actually did just come from Iran, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got you. I mean, here's the thing: unless I have like some overwhelming reason to disbelieve him, the only thing that I'm taking from this is just as a kind of a further confirmation of the other reports where you're hearing like tens of thousands of people are killed, and I think that is a true
That's
report.
objectively easy for me to say, right?
Yeah.
In a culture where they would have just taken him up to the roof and thrown him off just for being who he seems to be, I just have a hard time with that.
Now, Joe, you know that the correct execution for people of his persuasion is hanging from a crane. Yeah. I was so surprised that when I first saw how they did that. Like I once saw like 4 guys lined up, right, and like they were tied to a cable each, right? It's a single cable, And then they basically started hoisting the cable up, and like the first guy gets lifted off the ground, and then the second guy, and then you had 4 guys like dopes on a rope, just hanging from an elevated cable, and they just left them there in the center of the city or whatever. Iranian guy with 4 earrings, 2 crosses hanging from them, looks weird. Yeah, it does. All right. Let's see here. So, Joe, you remember the video we looked at on Monday that was it was a daytime regime demonstrations in the street. Mm-hmm. Now, if you look at this seems way more people. The thing that I believe is that most of those demonstrations they were showing, the pro-regime ones, are old video from like other demonstrations. Like one of the videos,
the U.S. strike, when all their people were out supporting their side and all that. I will point this out. I think you need to check that last dude's passport, because I guarantee you there's a stamp showing that he has been to Djibouti more than once.
Frequent flyer.
Yeah, if you swing that way in the region, it probably has Tel Aviv on there too.
No, the joke was.
I know, I got you. I'm just saying, you're not wrong. I mean, it's a lot of people, and this is a lot of people amidst all the death that's occurring. So, I mean, these people are not. They're not fading away, which would be, I think, a lot of people would, when faced with death, would definitely be likely.
The problem is that those people aren't just going to fade away, but the Iranian regime has absolutely no problem making them go away.
Exactly right. So you got to give it to them for being brave. We always say the best people to free a people are the people themselves, and you got to give them credit for showing up, right? We'll see where this goes. I'll be honest with you. I said it last weekend that I thought that you might see U.S. strikes. If everything that I'm seeing thus far continues to head, and this will be my prediction for later in the week, is that I think we're getting closer and closer to U.S. strikes on Iran.
There are a ton of beautiful Djibouti jokes going on in the YouTube chat right now, and I would be remiss if I did not say, well done. Well done.
Djibouti Special Forces, they never leave their buddies behind.
That guy's the ambassador from Djibouti.
Jay Clark, you may be onto something there. It is after midnight here, and I'm like, when I'm focused on one thing, it's hard to focus.
Some people think that the not so smart aren't as funny as they are. That's all.
Well, I think somebody said in the chat the other day, it's like never joke when Scott's autism is engaged.
In other words, anyway.
All right. Guys, that's all I've got for today. Any final points that anything else that is going on in the world that Joe, there's a whole thing going on in the Sahel, evidently, that I was just kind of reading a little bit about. And my daughter came in while I was putting the notes together, and I said, she's like, "What do you guys talk about today?" And I just started kind of showing her like some of the stuff. And I showed her the one from the Sahel. I was like, "This one right here, like if any other day, this would be at least an odds and end. Maybe we could turn it into a full topic." And she says, "Well, why don't you?" I was like, "Because there's so much going on. You just can't cover everything."
Yeah, there's just so much going on. We have to pick and choose.
Jay Clark says, "Always joke when Scott's autism is engaged. It makes it funnier."
It does.
For you.
No, it factually does.
Combine
well, I've got something
booty
for
and a
everybody.
choke, and you'll have Joe on the floor, and Scott will lock up. No, Scott will laugh. Scott will laugh.
I do have something to say, and that is that I want to echo a post that I made a couple days ago. But first, I'm going to show you a quick photo and then a video. All right, here is your photo, and you might not realize it. Here's your video. These are the same picture, and you're in it.
I guess I'm not smart enough to figure that one out.
Well, the first one is a picture of picnickers at the Battle of Bull Run who didn't believe a civil war was going to happen, and if it was going to happen, the fighting would be so minor that it would be safe to sit within viewing distance and have
I didn't realize there was a picture of the Battle of Bull Run. There was literally nothing that led me to believe that. Sorry. Yes, I did get that.
Yeah, I guessed it, but I think I've seen that picture before. That's the reason why. And yeah, but see, this woman was already doing the thing, and then the other thing started happening right behind her, but she didn't understand the significance. Yeah,
exactly, and that's what I'm saying, chat.
Those morons of the Battle Bull Run knew exactly what was happening. They just didn't understand how it would end up going.
They just didn't believe either side was serious enough to actually kick things off, even though both sides had said very clearly in the weeks leading up to it that they absolutely were.
Yeah, until a sports ball game gets interrupted, Washer, that's not going to change.
Yeah, you're sadly true. Well, but this goes to show exactly. We talk about cognitive biases a lot of times, Joe. This is normalcy bias. People are like, "Oh, things just will continue as normal, right? New things won't happen." Or it's positivity bias. Where like don't be so negative.
Jim.
You guys are,
or you know what? Or the other way. Or the other way. There's the people who always go negative. Nothing's ever going to happen. Everything's always terrible. We're just on an endless decline into the morass, and you might as well lay down and die.
Well, yeah, I like to kind of put the negativity bias on people who are kind of like, the sky is falling, and when the sky finally does fall, nobody's listening to them.
Like the fall of the Roman Empire, but with Wi-Fi, 100%.
Yeah.
And until people lose their Wi-Fi and social media, nothing's going to change.
Joe, what's your look at midweek hump day? Where are you at with your crystal ball?
Things are going to continue to get worse on the domestic front. You're going to see some more violence and escalation, beginning from the left, and then ICE over responding, and then the left using that as an impetus for more protests. Why do I say that? Well, this week there were protests not just at the Whitefish Border Patrol Station in Montana, where they've always been, but they were also in downtown Missoula, not that surprising, but in Polson, which is a very conservative community near here. So as it's spreading into small towns across America, it's going to spiral. So,
yeah. Watcher.
That's it, man. I'm with Joe 100%. I think this is going to spiral and it's going to go fast. Both sides have indicated that they're willing to dig in and they're willing to go to loggerheads over it. And there's only one direction that develops into. I do not see any off ramps from this point, except for maybe some end runs that would be unconstitutional that kind of underwrite the whole thing in the first place, or undermine the whole thing in the first place. So no, I would legitimately be making sure you have water storage and alternate power solutions and enough food to get you through for a little while, because things are closing in, and when two sides say, hey, we're not backing down and the only option is fighting, there we go.
Yeah, the leftist memes that everyone's joking about of the women all showing themselves holding up the guns they bought during the cute winter boots thing, that's an indicator. You need to be paying attention to that.
Yeah, those people are still there, even though they didn't end up doing much with that.
No, Scott, what you missed is in the last 24 hours, they've posted videos of them with
new ones.
Saying we're ready for you now. So
I haven't seen any of that.
They're all over right now. Yeah.
Somebody just commented on one of my posts that they're going to laugh their ass off if there's food trucks and vendors at the first battle of Snowgadishu.
Oh, I did see that one girl showing the bullets. She was holding up the magazine. Was she doing the cute winter boots thing?
Yeah, and Mr. Guns and Gear was like, we've all argued about what's the best defensive ammunition. There it is, Full Metal Jacket. She won.
Yeah, Blaze. Yeah, he was Phoenix Ammunition. Blazer. Defensive handgun ammo. Please shoot me with Blazer ammo.
Oh, you know what? Anything. You know what? As long as you bring that up, I do have one more thing to bring up. Did y'all see this incident that happened in North Carolina? Speaking of Blazer rounds. Oh, I guess not. Okay, well, here you go, gents.
We don't know what incident you're talking about, so we don't know.
Yeah. Oh no! If you'd have seen it, the word Blazer rounds.
Oh, this is the Dragonfire rounds. No, these are the Dragonfire rounds.
Suspect pulled up at 1:47 a.m. and unloaded a full clip of Dragonfire rounds into the officer, who luckily survived. Or South Carolina. Yeah, sorry, hunch.
Define clip.
Or full magazine, whatever we want to call it.
It's probably a shotgun.
It is a shotgun. That's what I'm saying. It's whatever you want to call the tube.
Right. So, yeah. So I was going to say. So it's probably a tube.
Anyway. There's still not a clip in a shotgun.
They caught him.
Yeah, they should have.
42-year-old local resident.
My prediction is definitely going into the weekend, and I think there is a much higher chance of steel rain over the weekend. So if that's a type of weather problem you think you may encounter, make sure you dig in.
Wear your rain helmets.
That's right. Gentlemen, that's all I got. Thank you very much. Chat, you guys were awesome as always. Thank you. I think I got all your super chats. Thank you. Appreciate your support for the channel. We will be back on Friday, same time, same channel. Thank you to the CFC, as always, and the chat. I appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel, like the videos, hit the bell for notification. Let the people know let your friends know about where you're finding this stuff, but also down in the comments. If you would leave a comment, and if you have a question, question's fine. But if you just have some kind of statement, or you want to talk about my autism destroying Joe's very, very good jokes, I apologize for that. By the way, we will be here for it. Back on Friday, as always. Stay safe, gents.